Yeah, I had to wait a long time there because this is the tank that I decided to put my Chuck Norris reward in. Bit weird you're describing Chuck Norris as a reward, but for any of you who haven't been up to date with World of Tanks over the holiday period, he was inside the game through holiday ops, and on my main account I decided, why don't I put the most dangerous man in the world in the most dangerous tank inside World of Tanks, and that is of course the FV4005. This is the tier 10 British turreted tank destroyer, which has a whopping amount of alpha damage, 1,750 damage per shot, enough to one-shot most of the enemy vehicles on their team. You do have to pay for it though. Each one of these shots costs 8,000 credits. And so, what better time to take the most dangerous man in the world, put him in the most dangerous tank, and then to set a trap for our opponents. And what you're going to be seeing here is probably one of the most filthy ambushes that I've ever managed to achieve in World of Tanks. So in this kind of a situation on this map, everybody seems to love to spawn on the south team if they're playing in a tank destroyer. There are all of these lovely locations up here, right at the back of the map where they can sit. Unfortunately, if you spawn on the northern team in a tank destroyer like this, you don't really have that luxury of going up into the mountain, which kind of blocks off your area there. And so you have to be a little bit more sneaky. And so I'm going to be using this little island here, knocking down a tree to also extend the bush location that I have, with a nice rock to also give me some protection if I need to. And because the FV405 has 10 degrees of gun depression, we're going to be able to do some absolutely sassy things against our opponents. But it's also important to get your team working on the same page. Clearly, we can see what's happening on the west of the map. Our team is going to be able to cut through that flank, and all I really have to do is hold off this flank for as long as possible. So I've asked the FV, sorry, not the FV, I'm the FV, the 7032 to fall back, to wait on the corner. You see me communicating there, and I know that I'm ready to help this Jagdpanzer 100. But if I get spotted right now, all that's going to happen is I won't have them where I want them. I have to try and get them in the open around that corner. And look at these two tier 9 Soviet tank destroyers, the Object 263s, in a platoon together. Well, yeah, they're not really in a platoon anymore. We've reduced their numbers by half immediately with a one-shot 1,800 damage against the 263, and now we have them right where we want them. I guess it kind of sucks that the Jagdpanzer 100 has a 263 behind him. Hopefully he's still going to be able to get a couple of rounds out. But in this kind of a situation, I don't think there was anything that I could do to be more effective than to wait until you've got your opponents truly locked down. And I'm hoping right now, I'm going to try and launch a shell between the gun and the hull of the Jagdpanzer 100, but I decide instead to just lock the tracks down on the 263, hopefully helping my Jaegeru out. And we can see that the enemy 263 is clearly a decent enough player, because they were using that Jagdpanzer 100 masterfully to stop what happened to their platoon mate happening from them as well. So in the FV4005, it's all about just those long reloads and trying to survive for as long as you possibly can. We've stopped this advance, and all we need to do is really just hold back the enemy. We're against multiple tier 9 tanks, thankfully no tier 10 vehicles in this situation. All of our tier 10 tanks have managed to go down the west. Gonna let them win the flank, and all we have to do is just hold on for dear life right now. Luckily, there's no artillery to have to deal with, but oh baby, there's another penetrating shot on the side of a tier 9 Soviet vehicle, the IS-32, reduced to rubble with 1,374 damage. And with 3 shots in this game, we're at 3,800 damage, and we're forcing the enemies through this choke point. And they can't even see me right now. These trees are providing me with excellent cover. We can see the 263 turns towards me, and I'm just not able to find the shell into them. Maybe I could shoot through their upper deck here, but they're moving. I want to take my time. And also, while the 263 is facing me, all the pressure's on him. While he's facing me, he's allowing the Scorpion G and the Defender to shoot him in the side and the rear because he's just so hungry to be able to engage me. So by just holding the shell and having positional power of the 263, we've taken them out the game completely. And that allows us to confirm our advantage, to start to whittle down their hit points, get our other tank destroyer in the game, get the heavy tank in the game, and wait for that opportunity to be able to deliver the final blow to the tier 9 German tank, heavy tank on the enemy team even. I should know, right? The E75 was my first tier 9 that I ever got in World of Tanks. And this position, oh my word, this probably is one of those scenarios where it wouldn't work every single time. We're able to lay that ambush with the Jagdpanzer 100. I must apologize to the Jaegeru, El Capitan, for kind of leaving him there and to not springing my ambush until the 263s had committed. But I really thought that was the only way we were going to be able to get through that situation. I don't think you're able to deal with multiple tier 9 vehicles when you're outnumbered, especially earlier on, without being a little bit sneaky. And I don't think that's the biggest problem that we have, Chuck. I think the biggest problem that we have is that you seem to be hitting every single shell, even when I'm not fully aimed after I've managed to put you in this tank. Yeah, Chuck Norris is getting very lucky for me so far, securing our 4th kill, I believe, with our 5th shot and 5,000 damage. Of course, we're paying for it. With those 5 shots, we spent 40,000 credits on ammunition this game, and when we take into account I'm using premium consumables in this vehicle, yeah, that's not really going to work out too well for our economy. So I'm just hoping. Oh, a little bit of a poor shot there. I should have waited just a little bit longer. I guess I got greedy, and oh dear, we only do 700 damage to the Yag Tiger instead of pretty much one-shotting their remaining 1,600 hit points there. But oh well, I guess that's 1,000 damage I won't be getting my hands on, but 5,700 still pretty decent enough. And so hopefully in this game I was able to show you that just positional power is key inside World of Tanks. And when you're in a vehicle like this, it's something that I guess I'm guilty of. I'm the kind of player who wants to go and try and influence the medium tank. I'm the kind of player who wants to try and influence the heavy tank. But sometimes when I have the patience, you do kind of play that classic tank destroyer role. And it will be enough to be able to just hold back one of the enemy flanks to allow your team to be able to win the other flank. And I decide, I'm not going to be able to get towards the Jagdpanzer 100, so why not just look pretty in the sun for the painted QuickyBaby photo at the end of the battle for the thumbnail in question, right? And with the Jaegeru falling, the FV405 looking as pretty as it possibly could be, sitting on top of that hill. Yeah, this one was definitely, I'd say, the best ambush I ever managed to have in World of Tanks. And it's no surprise, that little position was almost just designed for an FV4005. I can't believe how effective it was. Usually on this map, all that I manage to see with tank destroyers doing well is when they get to sit all the way at the back here and they sit behind these bushes and they manage to get shell after shell after shell through. But that was a little bit of a sneaky one. I don't see too many people trying to use that location, but equally, it was about the fact that they didn't know that I was there. And yeah, good luck trying to hide one of the biggest tanks in the game. It definitely required some patience. But I guess with Chuck on my side, how was I ever really going to lose, right? So a fast frenetic game here, it was under 7 minutes, but during that time we still managed to pick up a high caliber for the near 6,000 damage that we dealt. But it looks like the real hero of this battle was the 50 TP led by Jimmy BL, who managed to carve up the other flank and probably take down an ace tanker for their 1,258 base experience. Yeah, we did fire a filthy amount of credits this game, but as it happened during the holiday ops, we actually still made profit with or without a premium account. And that was what was just so darn disgusting about that holiday ops period. It felt like everyone was firing the gold rounds, and you could play even an FV4005. Maybe not profitably, but at least breaking even with the credit bonus that was applied when you managed to get all of the decorations. I know I put it to good use. That's why I put Chuck inside this tank. As well, there's no doubt it's filthy and it's disgusting and it's undoubtedly pay to win. Nobody seems to really care about that, at least when I'm streaming inside this tank. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed setting a trap here and possibly one of the greatest ambushes I've managed to achieve inside World of Tanks. If you did, give the video a thumbs up, but if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And seeing how next week the AMX 13105 is going to be top of the tree, I see no better time to showcase the entire tech tree live right now, if you're watching this video on Sunday, on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And so if you want to get a head start for the top of the tree, come along right now. I'm going to let you know everything there is to know about the French tracked light tanks. And also, I'll culminate it with hopefully some decent enough gameplay and also discussing the equipment loadouts for the AMX 13105, which I think is the most dangerous light tank in the game. And that's about it. Hopefully I'll see all of you right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.